to Gavira Unfiltered. I'm Gandharvi, co founder of Gavira, a clarity and growth practice built for women who are navigating change, career, and the decisions that define who they belong and where they belong. This podcast was born out of a simple belief that the most powerful stories aren't about arriving, they're about the journey. Gavira Unfiltered is where we have those conversations because the real version is always more powerful than the highlight reel. This is not an interview, this is a conversation. And this today is one that I've been looking forward to. Some people are hard to put in a box, and the best ones refuse to get in. Our guest today has spent over 23 years creating work that transforms ordinary spaces into something you feel before you can explain. Murals on walls, stories on canvas, art on furniture, fabric, glass, wood. It can hold a story. And if it can, she says it can hold art. But Kanika Kush is far more than the surfaces she works on. She calls herself an expressionista because expression for her is limitless. It lives in how we create, how we connect, how we feel, and even in how we heal. It moves through painting, writing, conversations, spaces, textures, and movements. And it has always refused to stay in one place. She is drawn to the things that make us feel more alive and more human. Dance, theater, books, music, honest conversations, and a little bit of drama, curiosity, and play. And somewhere along the way, life has also taught her to hold things more gently. Hers is a story of 23 years of building a creative practice on her own terms, of living with ADHD and turning it into a superpower, of choosing the harder, truer path again and again, and creating a life and a body of work that looks like no one else's. Because she'll tell you herself, no two pieces ever stay the same, because no two people are. She is still learning, still evolving, and today she is here unfiltered. Welcome to Gavira Unfiltered, Kanika. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Gandharvi. And honestly, that like I told you, is like an ego trip. I'm like, wow, is this being said about me? So thank you so much. Didn't know that that's. I mean that's how I'm perceived, maybe, but that feels good. Definitely an ego trip, and thank you. But yes, it is true, especially the last part, which is still evolving, still learning. Yes, that's the truest part.
Amazing. So let's get into it, Kanika. Before the art, before the business, before the labels, who was Kanika growing up? What was the world like through her eyes as a child?
So actually, before all this, I don't know myself before all of this yet. To answer your question, it was always this. It was always seeing through these things, and but to add to it, a very Alice in Wonderland, very dreamy, very a person believing in magic all the time. Even today, I do, and it sounds very childlike, I would say. And today I'm not going to think otherwise, or be forced to think otherwise, or adult into it. No, because I have seen magic happening in my life over and over again. So that was me growing up, always. Yes, looking at the world through rose filtered glasses, and I still do, because my lenses are rose in color. That's just how it is, and it is like that. You just cannot convince me otherwise. So that was me, expressing even then, being myself, dancing about, painting, listening to music. Yeah, that was me growing up. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Yes.
I love the word magic. I honestly do. I think everyone needs a little magic in their lives
Yeah.
and something to believe
Yeah.
in. And, that is something that we all need to have. And so, from there, just curious, were creativity and expression always celebrated in your world growing up? Or did you have to fight for the right of this version of yourself?
No, I had to fight for it because I belong to a straight jacketed, I would say, background. And again, this is not to say what is better or what was appropriate, none of that. I think everything happens for a reason. And it was all, I think, curated for me to be here in this space currently. So, without any of those connotations, yes, I was born into a family that their thinking is a little straight jacketed even today. And I think society then was like that because of scarcity, because of just the world in general, where if you are not straitjacketed, then if you're not linear, then what lies at the end of that linearity is something you may not achieve. And that is all that everybody's striving for, which was social status, which was a lot of economic stability and prestige. And then the typicals, car, bungalow, gadi, and all of that, right? Now, you asked me this beforehand also, that how was I looking now? See, that person who has rose colored glasses will never understand this. I still don't. I still don't. I don't understand, because I really, really believe that you are born and then you die. And everything else in between is real time pass happening. So why are we getting so serious about life? You can believe what you want to. I do believe in kindness, though, a lot of kindness. So yes, growing up, even when I would express myself, sure, there were times given to me. Like my mother, for example, did encourage me to join art classes. But beyond that, it was an addition. It was an addition to the academics. It was an addition to the straight-jacketed structure, you know. And if it's going to infiltrate into that, now that's not allowed. And for me, it was the same. It was like, yeah, now I'm studying, now I'm doing this, everything is equal. So yes, it was tough. Yes, I had to fight my way, and thankfully today I don't fight anymore. I am that. But yes, it was tough.
And I absolutely just love that version of, you gotta be who you are and be comfortable in your own skin. So, let's go a little deeper. So, take us through the chapters of your life, not the resume. I think everyone can see that on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on Insta, but the real map. What have been your defining seasons that shaped who you are today?
Oh, there have been enough and more, I would say. But I think the first one would have been, the first begins from the last question, that I always felt like an outsider, always, always. And felt that because everybody around me, everybody, right, including school, teachers, my parents, the relatives, and being an army kid, we used to travel a lot. So even in those spaces, barring maybe one or two teachers in my entire 14 years of school education, everybody else was again, like, keep moving on this path, and this is where. So then you feel out of place all the time. That was one of the first defining moments. Now, that for a child is tough, because they will never understand. You want to fit in. That's just, and today, being a teenage counselor also, I see that pattern in some children, and I mean, my heart goes out to them, and I'm like, you know what, don't. You are perfect the way you are. And I tell the parents also that. But that in hindsight. But for me, yes, I felt wrong. I felt deeply inferior. Deeply. In fact, today also, there are impressions of ghosts of that complex that keep coming in and, leaving my body all the time. So that happens. But yeah, grew up as a very inferior, with a very deep complex of inferiority. And that was so. Let's begin with that. That was how life started. And then got into a college. It's one of the best colleges in India, sure, but never that in architecture. Again, I didn't know what I had to do. So yes, sure, got into architecture because I was always really good at art and design, but not the technical bit of it. I would have done so much better maybe in the arts, in the humanities. So sure, got in, and then the parents who, well, I did feel I failed them. I failed them, and that I did not become a doctor or whatever. So that was the first defining moment. So a person coming with inferiority complex finally actually hits home by disappointing the parents also. That's how my life started, if you may, at 21 or 18, whatever. Sure, I was in the best college. Sure, they were using it as their trophy, all the time, or a medal that I'm the older daughter, older kid. So yeah, she's got into this and all that. It's later that you realize that they are actually, you are their mule in a way. And I was. So, and I will not mince my words. So I was a mule always, that she will do something, because I was told that you're going to fulfill our dreams. You will become a doctor. What will, and the cousin you have to beat. That kind of talk was actually given to me day in, day out. Okay. So began with disappointment. Disappointing the parents who you think are your world. No, initially you do. It's much, much later that you realize they're not. So that, sure, then I went through all of that. Then the next defining moment was money. So see, this thing that, oh, straight jacket karna hai, kar liya maine, ghus gaye. Ab to paise bhi nahi mil rahe, architects don't earn initially, right? So then again, you get into a complex, yeah. You get into the complex, and straight jacketed also, I used to be a very good student, you know.
Mm.
So कि ये तो मार्क्स अच्छे आ रहे हैं तो ऑब्वियसली फिर प्रोफेशनल कॉलेज में घुसोगे तो पैसे आएंगे, अब वो भी नहीं हो रहा है. So can you imagine the खिचड़ी पकवाएंगे in my head, you know, that यार ये तो स्ट्रेट जैकेटेड भी काम नहीं कर रहा है इनका. And then that creative person starts to sit on my shoulder and wonder, not question, wonder what's going on. So then I do an MBA. Imagine, Gandharvi, I've done an MBA from Symbiosis, got into Deloitte. For 7 months, I was there. I couldn't breathe. Nothing
Mm.
against the company, but a person like me. Wonderful company, extremely good environment to work in, and I was doing well. पैसे मिल गए, उसमें भी मजा नहीं आया. I was like, ये भी मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Loads of money. Okay, but I'm like, so I left it at a whim. That was the second thing. By then, I was married to somebody because I had to. I had to be married because the parents. It was just very messed up. यार. It was like, अभी मतलब पहले बोल रहे हो independent बनना है. My mother used to say you have to be an independent person. Now when I am finally independent, a little bit, whatever, earning what 8,000-9,000 a month that time, you know,
Mm.
23 years old literally. That's when they started to say, अरे क्या कर रहे हो, अकेले हो, ये वो. I was in Pune. Come back, get married. मैंने कहा 1-2 साल हुए, अभी शादी कर लो. So it was a
Mm.
little crazy. That's when MBA also came in. And so I got married while I was doing my MBA in Symbiosis to a person who I chose, yes, but I wasn't ready, Gandharvi, to get married. You're not ready at 24, 25, please. I wasn't.
Mm.
So got married. That was the second, that was whatever next number of turning point. And yeah, sure, okay. I was like, karna hai, because again, this must be next in line, you know. Abhi tak dil se kuch nahi ho raha hai. So then, of course, my son was born, and that was probably the biggest turning point. I mean, in the turning points in my life, jo hote na, the ones with the biggest circle, maybe the ones that will be
Mm.
highlighted. The first was my son being born. I think motherhood changes something in a woman. It breaks something, it shifts, it cracks open something. What cracked open in me was the first, I think, sliver of a feeling that, you know, it's like how a chick must be feeling coming out of an egg. Okay, what's going on? That's when I realized, okay, this marriage is not working for me. Number one, profession, career is not working for me. Number two, okay. And at a whim, I was like, I'm out of all of this. I'm done. The
Mm.
शादी bit took a while because वो social constructs तो थे ना कि नहीं हमको ना शादी नहीं तोड़ना चाहिए, and all. For me in my head it was a decision made the moment my child came out of me. I was like, wow, this needs to end, but then you have to play. So I
Correct.
played for a month. I can say that now, okay. That time, even just 2 years ago, I wouldn't be talking like this. But that time I knew that it's done. Get out of this. Yeah, sure, do the dance and all of that. Get out, came to Gurgaon. Then that time I was a single mother. Then you have to start from scratch again, yeah. And again, did not fight for alimony and none of that. So it was not like I was loaded and, you know, no, none of that. Literally started from scratch here in Gurgaon. And that time took refuge with my parents. That did not go down too well again because, again, it's not a fault of them. No, that's not the point at all. What I'm saying is my perspective, right? They are again the same parents, no? कि बच्चा तो अच्छा करता है फिर वो बहुत अच्छा कमाएंगे, या तो अलग ही कहानी चल रही है. So you come and then they, sure, out of their basic, I think, natural love जो होता होगा parents में, they were trying their best, but it wasn't coming out the way it had to. So I had to leave their home as well. And I had no money, nothing. So I took my son, my dog, my car into a new place in Gurgaon, 1 BHK. Earning was paying rent double, triple than what I was earning. I was like, हो जाएगा यार. It's good. That is there. कि हो जाएगा. And हो ही गया उसके बाद. So that was another turning point in my life, meaning where you want to depend on people, or you feel, I was done with that kind of nonsense. So I was like, अब मैं अपने आप कर लूंगी. You know, which I did. Started, it wasn't easy. But again, today when I look back, I feel nothing is, you know, so I don't want to play that bit also that, oh my God, look at me. No, I now know so many people who play against odds and come out, triumphant. So this is just my story. That's all. There's no like this thing to it. Yes, did what I had to. Then started to teach at a college, GD Goenka. I was a visiting faculty there. I used to teach design. Zumba happened. I picked up Zumba. That was 13 years ago. And then hardcore started practicing interior design in Gurgaon. That was fun. That was a good life. And that was pretty much like a mini me today, you know. Then again, the parents swooped in again that, beta, now it's time to get remarried. And I'm like, तब तक शायद पूरा कंडीशनिंग ना हटा नहीं था गंदा अभी तब तक भी, you know. So I was like, यार ये क्या? And I fought. I was like, I don't want to get married, please, no. I'm loving it. I have a baby, and my work is my husband. I remember this clearly, that I'm married to my work. I love my work. Hardcore independent woman, okay. नहीं नहीं नहीं, फिर से घुस गए वो secondshadi.com में, दैट यहाँ लड़के हैं, देखो ये डिवोर्सीज है. मैंने कहा यार, look, it's not about your marital status, how many children, no, it's not that. I mean, God knows what is there in the future or whatever. I've never looked at people like that कि तुम्हारा background क्या है, this that, no, never. But you are already like going into that place and saying देखो वो भी divorcees हैं, उनके भी बच्चे हैं. अब again that box thing that you said, मैं कहा पहले से क्यों box में डाल रहे हो यार मेरे को? हाँ मैं देखूंगी ना, मुझे मेरी जिंदगी है ये, it's my life, I will see what I have to know. It's a little shameful that a woman your age is single in North India, this and that. So they convinced me, yeah. They've always done that. They've had that power over me, not anymore, but they have, both of them. Then, of course, I got married to the person that I was married to for 10 years. That they didn't, they did not choose. We chose each other. And that by far, so number one, that biggest highlight was my son being born. The second highlight was being married to this person. And when I say highlight, I say it with a pinch of, I would say, the biggest sharpening moment, the learning of my lifetime, of a decade. I got married to the darkest part of me. I got married to that as a human being, if you can say that, that the part in me, if you could personify it, that was the person. And here, very important, very, very important thing to say here is, it's not about the person that I'm talking about. No, I'm not in any way saying anything about him. I can't, nobody can comment on anybody in that sense. We did have great times and all that in the marriage. No, I'm only talking about myself and my journey. So imagine the darkest parts of you, you know, they get personified into a human being. You find that person, you attract that person, and then you get married. Oh my God, that's what happened. That was the biggest. And then it ended, of course, which it had to. So yeah, that is the long and short of it in terms of in terms of the life timeline. Baki, yeah, everything else I've done for myself. Those are separate things, you know, where I've gone out and started to heal from 7 years ago. But if you were to ask me, these are the main ones.
Wow, I think it's such a beautiful story that it comes with its challenges. You've been the good girl, you've been the good daughter, you followed the rules which lovely society has demanded of women. And I love the fact that, you know, you've someone once told me this, that I'm an extremely empowered woman. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm just very independent and enabled. And I think that is something that you've truly spoken about, being independent, living by your own terms. And, you know, whatever choices you've made them. Yes, some may have been societal pressures, but you've also made choices after that for yourself, which not a lot of women make. And I think that is such a epically proud moment to have, because it's not that every woman has the courage to do this. The ones that I speak to don't necessarily have that courage. They have it in their mind, may not necessarily have the upfront courage to make those choices.
Yeah, I agree. And it is tough. So when I say it is tough, I'm not trying to say that but look at me, I'm so brave and all. No, I see that in women, and I can see it, and I want to say that, listen, kuch nahi hai, daro mat, just walk out, you know. But then also, because you mentioned the word journey, that is actually the biggest, I would say, anchor of this entire conversation for me. And this is spiritually speaking. This is the 7 years that I've put in a lot. Like I've literally, you know, Gandharvi, I say this to so many people. Imagine a sock. Now, many people will not understand, but you will. And this is also ADHD speaking. Imagine a sock, a pair of, so one of the pair of sock, if that's how you say it. So there is a sock that you're wearing, but the sock from inside is full of pebbles and crap and stones and thorns and worms, right? Imagine now you're wearing it's hurting you. One day you decide, I'm going to pull it out. And then you ulta karo it and pick each thorn, each pebble, you look at it. You see, okay, and then there'll be holes made in the sock, right? And then you're like, oh, that's the hole. Now I will mend the hole and I will put my own colors in the holes. That has been the journey for the past 7, 8 years. So again, I'm thankful for the journey. Now there are women who are wearing a sock who may not have so many pebbles and thorns. They are maybe one odd. So if that's the choice that they're living with, that's fine too. That's what I'm trying to say. You getting my point? You know, I've
Absolutely.
probably been, yeah, I've been lucky. And now today I feel I've been lucky. Yeah, yeah, matlab 40 saal. So good. So the least I think I can do is when other women, I would say women, I'm sorry, I don't get to hoots about men. Okay. They need to work on themselves. They need to. And I'll tell you where I'm coming from. This may sound disparaging or whatever if men are listening to it, but I'll tell you where this is coming from. You have a brain, no? आप ही तो दुनिया चला रहे हो ना. तो बंदियां क्यों अपने ऊपर काम कर रही हैं अभी? तो ये बोलना कि no, this is too much hate against men, then it will become the same thing. No, it will not. Take accountability, start working on yourself. High time. High time. Women are way beyond. So I'll talk about women. So today, when I see women, with that sock, or let's say, realistically speaking, with a little bit of pain, I think the least I can do and how I can pay it forward is sit with her pain. That's it. And not tell her, you can walk out of it, you have it, do it. Bad way. I was bichara for so long, right? So till she's in pain, I want to sit with as many women as I can. That, you know what, I'm right here. And you want to do something, I'm right there then. Then you want to back off, I'm right there then. So the journey, just hold hands. That's it.
I
That's where
love
I'm at
that.
right now.
I absolutely love that because I always say if you make a choice, you made a choice. If you don't make a choice, it's still you making a choice. And it's
Exactly.
okay either which ways, right? And I think I love the fact that, you say women are more evolved than men. And I truly believe that. And that's the same logic, that's why we work only with women because the
Mm.
onion layers to peel are so many more
Yeah.
than with men. So no offense meant to the men out there, but the fact is, I think there's women have to be looked at and managed in a different way. They have their own journeys and they have their own findings that may take a little longer. It's not as black
Yeah.
and white for women as it could be for men. I could be wrong, but just saying it and putting it out there.
Yeah, no, and
So
this whole thing that you're saying, that you could be wrong, we want to be proved otherwise. There are no men who come and talk. How will we know? So it's enough of taking responsibility or even giving them benefit of doubt. No, somebody needs to say that you are not coming and talking, but you're sitting behind your screens and bashing women who are talking about you, which feels that it's against you. You're not doing any work. And honestly, I will say, okay, I'll not speak about other people. In my life, every pain that has been caused, the root has been a man. Yeah, there I said it. So prove it otherwise. I'm living and telling you, ना मेरी story है ये मैं कोई generalize नहीं कर रही, but my story. So yeah, I'm not going to even be apologetic about it. We're all adults here. We can make our own choices. It's all cool. Yeah.
absolutely. So you've talked a lot about choices. You've talked about your journey and some of the hard truths that you had to go through and make some very bold decisions, right? So I think I want to talk a little bit about you have spoken openly about ADHD. I want to kind of know when did you find out? What did that feel like? How did it reframe your story, both looking back and looking forward?
Okay, so this is the biggest turning point, okay, in my life. So I didn't want to like give it away. ADHD was 5 months ago, to the extent that it's so important for me that I have a whole like tattoo. दिखेगा कि नहीं, but there is a
Mhm.
tattoo here that I got made with the date that was 5th December 25. So it's just been not even 6 months, less than 6 months. It was tectonic shifts जो होते हैं ना in the which causes earthquakes, right? Those are tectonic plates, no? Yes, that's what happened. I was like, okay. And the run up to it was a friend told me, why don't you test for it? I'd heard about it. I've spoken to somebody on my podcast about it, yet it never hit me. Okay, so I was like, okay, fine. And I tested extreme on the hyperactivity level. Okay, so extreme, proper, hardcore ADHD. And hyperactivity in sense for women. So this
Mm.
woman who was told to keep quiet and stay small, so naturally overthinking in the brain, hyperactivity in the brain. Not so much. Thankfully now I let it out. I dance and all of that, but I take it out thankfully in productive ways. I've already developed coping mechanisms in the past 7 years, which are the pro. Those I'll talk about later. But to answer your question, it flipped my world. It literally flipped it. I was like, okay. And in the first shock was when I spoke to my parents. So not so much my father, but my mother. And she's like, she did say this, she said, we used to wonder, we used to see your mood swings and your sudden bursts of activity, and then suddenly you'll go quiet. We used to first think it was bipolar. This is a family of doctors, by the way. And my mother has like a degree in psychotherapy. So she's like, we used to wonder, but then I told myself, no, this will not happen to my daughter. That changed everything for me. That's when I think they allowed me, by saying this, disengage from the parent and child. I was like, this is my last straw. Thank you. I'm done. In terms of, now I don't owe you anything. And anyways, I've been there for them. I have all my life. I've always, you said good girl, right? So imagine that would really play out in adulthood. I've been there in the sicknesses. I've been there. My brother was abroad. No, I don't deserve this. I did not. That was the first thing. I broke down in public. I made a video crying. I couldn't help myself, because where do you go then? Where do you go? Who's there with you? You're a single mother. मैं कहाँ जाऊँ? कौन आ रहा है मेरे को प्यार के लिए? Who's coming? Even when I'm saying it, I'm feeling a little like, I mean, my heart is kind of, just welling up a little bit. But see, parenthood works one way, Gandharvi. I am a mother. I can say this, right? It works. It has only it's a one way. It's not two ways. यहाँ तो टू वे भी किया है, पर मेरे को वन वे वाला प्यार सपोर्ट तो मिला नहीं. और अब जब मेरी बैंड बज गई, मुझे ये पता चला, तो आप कह रहे हो नहीं हमारी बेटी नहीं. So you're still stuck in that mule mode, right? That all I will do for you is bring trophies to your table because of whatever lack you have. I'm done, guys. I'm done. If you're not going to learn, then I'm not answerable to you. This is going to sound very weird to a lot of people. नहीं नहीं जी, आपको बड़ा dutiful daughter. नहीं, do what you want with me. It's cool. I'll stand by this. I've been alone, and this last sentence did not break me. It did me. ADHD was that little pudiya of magic. I was like, okay, oh wow. So it immediately kind of extinguished all the conflict and doubt, Gandharvi, in freaking 1 month or 2 months. Like it literally, like it turned into ash and I blew it off. And now all I'm doing for the past 5 months is बहुत speed पे चिपक रहा है पूरा personality. I'm like, oh my god, okay. And I'm now seeing myself for the past, who I've been, and all those things that you said, no, initially, that she's done that I could never relate. It sounds like, oh my god, you're trying so hard to be modest. I'm not. I couldn't relate. Now when I look at my art or whatever I've built, I'm like, dude, wow, and in, again, not an arrogant way, but you are capable. You are capable. You're not a failure because you did not become a doctor. You are a capable person and you're capable of love, compassion, creativity so much. That is what I look forward to, which you asked. That is what I'm building. I'm consolidating everything I've done in so many years. I could never consolidate, because I was feeling very inferior, unloved, unsupported. Now I don't need any of that. That's where I'm at. So ADHD for me has been like, wow, man, thank you so much. That.
I mean, I love the way you've put it into perspective. As a lot of people who say they have ADHD think it's a big problem. And the way you look at it is that this is actually the explanation or the explaining point of maybe how your journey has been the way it has when it comes to creativity, when it comes to the way you kind of went through your education, how you've dealt with certain things. And it's not like a bad thing. I think, for all I might also need to get tested the way you've spoken. I'm like, maybe I need to think about myself as well, because it's the same kind of journey. It sounds a little familiar in certain spaces. And, I think the fact that you're looking at this as a gift to explain so many things is such a positive way of looking at it, because it's not a bad thing. And I don't know why people think it's a bad thing. It comes with its maybe challenges, but it comes with so many more advantages that others may not be able to understand.
Yeah, and I always explain this through flowers. I don't know why. I've always used flowers as an explanation. So Gandharvi, you're a rose, I'm a sunflower. End of story. Okay. So yeah, okay, sure. Sunflower was there in the field of roses for the longest time, was feeling weird. Sure, but if the rose comes to that little room of sunflower, you might feel out of place. But why is it always to feel out of place? Why can't we just say, you're a flower, I'm a flower. Wow, you're so pretty. You've got these red colored roses, very nice. Yeah? And you'll say, oh wow, okay, you have this quality where you look towards the sun. I can't because I'll burn. That's just what it is. Get over all this nonsense, yeah. And also the thing is, We humans tend to do this because we are barbs now of the planet. Like we are the barbs. It is the biggest aberration, this species.
Hmm.
Everything is coexisting or doing their own thing. All plants, animals, the sea life, sky, everything. तुम कौन तोप चीज हो यार जो तुम differences create करोगे? You know, so if you look at it like that, and one must, this is where I would want to kind of hardcore give unsolicited advice that look at it like that. It's just a brain which works differently. So the more I speak about it, and yes, I do have an advantage though, Gandharvi, the slight digression here, I have an advantage, I think, maybe of being a certain age now, being a mother, being a professional with that kind of experience, where let's say a 20-year-old, if she speaks so openly about ADHD, I've seen this happen because just like you, a lot of people got in touch with me. I've been giving psychologist numbers to people. They are getting tested positive. Okay.
Hmm.
But if a younger person in her 20s, unfortunately, in today's world, or a 17-year-old talks about it, girls, women mostly, men also, they may get attacked or told that tum kaun ho, tum kya bologe aise, which I feel bad about. So that way,
Correct.
I'm now first time in my life at maybe some advantage. So will I not use it? I'm going to milk it. I'm going to milk this. Why? So that others understand. There are parents who are understanding. There are parents in their 70s who are saying, my daughter, she's in her 30s, 40s, whatever. And do you think, I'm like, yes, please get a check, get it out of the way. Na? You pay it forward, yeah? You pay it forward always. That's what I'm
Love
doing.
that. No, I love that. So let's talk a little bit about your creative practice. 23 years of building a creative practice on your own terms, I think, is amazing and it's extraordinary. Can you walk us through actually what it looked like in terms of, when you had any doubt, the grind, or the moments you nearly gave up?
Oh man. No, not nearly. Yeah, I have given up over and over again, failed over and over. In another interview somewhere, I was saying this that for me, failure is the unit of success. So today I can say that because it's coming together. Fail नहीं होंगे तो समझ ही नहीं आएगा next चीज क्या करना. And yes, I don't get attached to anything, Gandharvi. If this makes sense. So like how for everything people have like an end goal, like, okay, why are you doing this? For me, I'm doing it because I enjoy it. End. Khatam. Period. Now I'm not enjoying it, I'll drop it. It's really that simple. Thankfully, again, this is powered by ADHD, which I've understood now. Initially, people would say, you know what? So, creative practices have been from designing houses. That is my mainstay, interiors and architecture. And then began mural practices, a mural art practice for now a decade. Zumba, which is dance. Then a lot of drama, which I do online with various characters. I love it, right? So that, and then, yeah, I'm forgetting now, but yes, podcast and also a counselor. And in everything, basically, there has to be novelty. That way, I've been blessed that all these practices allow me that. And the moment they have the grunt work, I will grunt like a pig and I will exit the building and I will drop it. This was
Mm.
my earlier inconsistent behavior, which I would question. That why is it that when the actual grunt work comes, that time you drop it? Is it because you only need the spotlight? Which a lot of people have told me that you only need the spotlight, Kanika, because you are so hungry for attention. And you grew up thinking that. I'm like, maybe I am. Maybe I am that person, although there's nothing wrong with that. With me, that's not true. With me, it's ADHD playing. That if it's fun, then I'll do it. The moment it gets to be slightly irritating, I will drop it. So I'm telling you that is why maybe I have failed over and over. But when I say failed, the enterprises that I tried to build in between, which is like maybe like a solid store for maybe Kanika Kush design house, I've built 5 and failed. Because why? Because हो नहीं रहा आगे, मजा खत्म हो गया, अब मैं क्या करूं? So अपने आप को जान लो, best है वो. So the more you get to know yourself, you realize, okay, so that's how ADHD came into play. When it did, I realized I it's not about bad or good, Gandharvi. It is just that my brain is not built to do
Mm.
this work. And there is no shame. There are people who love doing this work. Find those people, which I'm finding now, and okay, I'm good at this, and have a talk, honest conversation with that person. Hi, XYZ. This is my body of work. I would like to partner with you. I'm not good at this. And again, ADHD trait is being very sensitive to micro expressions, body language, things that are not said. So you'll know what that person is in for. Are they going to take you for a
Mm.
ride now? And there's so much trauma in life now. There's been a lot of other shit also, which I don't want to speak on this platform, but too much. So when you're a trauma, like a post whatever PTSD person, and have gone through decades of trauma, you pick up in a microsecond that तुम झूठ बोल रहे हो. You're lying, which other people will get to know after 3 years and come back and tell you, yeah, you were right. You know, that now I don't wait for other people's validation. If my heart tells me, not no, I'm like, no, out. So now that's becoming easier. So I'm meeting the right people, telling them in honest conversations that, yeah, it's not good at. I can't.
Mm.
I'm unable to do this part. Can you? They will lap it up. They'll be like, oh, this is all that I do. Wow. So now I feel, fingers crossed. I think I'm at a place, Gandharvi, that I'm in a place of consolidation after ADHD came in. Where consolidation, I'm getting all practices together, hopefully under one roof one day. But for now, I have partnered with a lot of people who are helping me with the grunt work because for them, it's not grunt. For them, this is crazy. For them, that is like, wow. I'm like, kaise kaun se planet pe rehte ho? But good. That's what's happening. That is what is
Wow.
happening.
That is amazing. So I think I want to go a little bit into your entrepreneurship as well. So, for you, what does it really mean to be an entrepreneur in the creative world in India? The parts, nobody talks about, the loneliness, the validation you have to give yourself when no one else can or does.
That's hit a nerve. So India A is getting into today, at least, in a very regressive place. But let's forget about today and the geopolitical scenario, which is affecting it. Let me not talk about that because people are still people. They still have minds. I'll speak about North India, Delhi, Gurgaon. Let me speak about Gurgaon because I live here and I can speak through the lived experience because I've started my entrepreneurial journey here for past 16 years, I would say. Here, it's about prestige. So, for example, Gandharvi, if I suddenly hit either X followers, maybe, or I'm suddenly seen with XYZ person, or my painting is sold, or one of the golf course road wale log invite me to maybe put my painting up or do something for them, then I have arrived and I have value. Then the others who have the money, again, they are not buying me, they are not buying my art, they are buying that value to uphold their prestige. That's what Gurgaon stands for. I'm speaking as a creative person. I have seen that happening. Will I say that sometimes I play on it? Yes, I do. Because otherwise मेरे घर पे खाना नहीं आएगा ना. Simple है. So I will sometimes play on it. Sure, I will once in a while. But as far as loving art for what it is and what it brings, that is very sorely lacking. I won't be surprised if a school one day is raised to erect a mall here or a daru ka theka. I won't be surprised. कि अरे ये पढ़ाई लिखाई में क्या रखा है दारू पियो खरीदो I won't be surprised and yes that makes my skin crawl and skin crawl is an understatement. It makes my blood boil but वही अकेले क्या करोगे. So relentlessly you continue creating your art every day. Relentlessly you continue to feel maybe under, I would say, artists will never earn as much as any person living in the corporate world or working in the corporate world. वो तो 22 years pehle, I couldn't understand it. Again, I'm talking about myself, right? So there's a price you pay. Yes, you do. You pay a price to be yourself. That price I'm paying literally, figuratively, in every possible way. I have, not anymore. I'm in a much, much more stable place. For that, I'm thankful to interiors and architecture. And the thing that I was referring to, that I play by people, that is not so much art. Thankfully, all my clients in art are lovers of art. I was speaking more about art and design. So अरे तुम्हारा घर तो बड़ा सुंदर बना है किसने बनाया हमें तो I play on that so that मेरा घर चलता रहे यार simple है ना so like that yeah it's sad but in India Kochi, Kolkata, Pune a little bit, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore to some extent, yes. These and Delhi, some parts, they are crazy for art. I mean, I want to learn from these people. Goa, I want to learn from these people. Where पागल है यार art को लेके. Their money is a bad word. Value is a bad word. art is the value. What are you putting? Are you being raw? Are you really expressing yourself, or are you thinking ये कितने का जाएगा, ये किसको अच्छा लगेगा? नहीं. I want to be in those circles. I really, really want to one day. I want to be in those circles, just to experience it. Right now, yes, I'm in the other circle, which is about always equating things with money. So, okay, now I have a son to send to college, so I will have to play. And I'm always aware when I'm playing. That is one thing which came from the spirituality bit. Pehle I would reject it. I don't do
Correct.
this, I do this. ADHD. 0, 100. With the ADHD, with spirituality also, I'm starting to also be aware that, oh, right now you're not being yourself. Why? Because that's needed. Okay, let's play. So and yeah, it's lonely. It's lonely as hell, man. It's lonely as hell. And you almost get, abhi nahi ho raha hai वैसे, abhi I wouldn't say that, yeah. But initially, like a sympathetic, vibe. Now, what else do you do? I'm like, no, I'm only, and for the longest time, that made me also always hang on to some other work. No, I'm also an architect. Like, अब मैं वो आपके बॉक्स में फिट हो गई, अब आप बात करोगे मुझसे, या मैं ऐसे ही हूँ, मतलब today I'll be like, yeah, I'll blurt out all, and I'm like, then they won't understand. I'm like, yeah, that's your problem. मैं क्या but takes a while, yeah. It's not easy for artists, and it's very sad. The Western world, or actually the entire world for that matter, way ahead. Talking about developed nations, Europe, maybe US. Art is something else. Art is something that you create out of nothing. You're not repeating stuff. I wish more people are. And anyways, we're going to move towards that place with AI now. So I think our time has come finally.
No, I remember when I was in Berlin living there, and the expression of art was everywhere. And, people call it graffiti, mutilating buildings and stuff, but the level of art that you would see there just on the walls, and it would be, just spray painted, but it would be art in itself. And Berlin is considered a city of arts. So whether you paint or you design or you create, it's any form of art. So I think India is getting there, but it may take a little bit more time. But I think that is that expression of art I have seen for 4 years, and it used to fascinate me. I'm like, oh, it's not banned here. That's funny, because in India, if you see someone spray painting, it's banned, unless
Yeah.
it's authorized that you can actually paint on the wall. So I think that's the version I've seen living in Europe, and it used to always fascinate me. So yeah, I think that's, and you're right. I think it is, entrepreneurship is a lonely place. It is not where
It
someone
is
will
very easy.
validate.
No, nobody's coming, and there will be people to tell you what to do all the time, tell you how to run your business, not to do this, not to do that. It isn't for everybody. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It is for the person um who's okay first up with failure. There'll be, out of 1,000 chances or efforts, there will be 950 failures, but the 50 wins. Oh my god, those are like so worth it. That's one. So let's say if you attach an emotion maybe with failure and winning, then entrepreneurship is not for that person. But if you detach and you just see the game, and there is no end goal, but you do know what you don't want to do. I can't do that shit. So this is all that I have, and I'm not going to get attached. It's become so common for me now. Gandharvi, there last year I had booked a land and put in a lot of my money and made it public. I mean, I rented a land. I didn't buy it. I wanted to build like a whole structure there. I put in a lot of money. It didn't work. Now that can give heart attacks to people. I was like, chalo, band karo isko bhi. Lost a lot of money. My own hard-earned money with the place that I'm at, being a single mom. Loads of money I lost. I was like, okay, fine. Screw it. अब आगे करेंगे. अब आगे करते रहो. That level of detachment, I won't say level, just detachment is needed, because then you will continue to do that same thing, what you enjoy. You just detach from money, from work, from failures, from what people are doing, and you just do because you love doing. And doing what? That you will know, and it evolves all the time. And just take it light, that thing, light. कभी भी मरने वाले हो आप कल मर सकते हो. तो अभी बैठ के अगर इतने प्लान्स बनाओगे, फिर ना 5 months के बाद हम ये देख रहे हैं बस तुम कल मर जाओगे, फिर क्या हुआ 5 महीने का? आज तो तुमने मजे लिए नहीं, क्योंकि आप तो आप टेंशन में ही के अंदर और स्केलेबिलिटी में कि यार वहां तो, एंड टुडे एंड टुमारो वर्ल्ड मूव्स ऑन. So do it and have fun with it. I think that's, yeah, and it's lonely. But it's okay. I like solo.
It's not for everyone, as you said, but when you crack it, you just make it. So here's another question. Since as an entrepreneur, you make decisions every day, big ones, um, that could change the direction of your life. So when you have those big decisions, how do you make them? Do you trust logic, instinct, or something else completely different?
So logic is something I don't understand, and I used to think, why don't I? So that again is the ADHD brain. We don't, at least my ADHD brain. Maybe some other, no, actually no. This is a blanket. ADHD brains do work because we are hunter mentality, right? That's what I've studied a little bit. We are the hunter mentality, and neurotypicals are the farmer mentality. Now both are important in the world, but farmers took over. So hunters are kind of left out, right? So and hunters ka zarurat nahi tha kind of. So hunters will always be like hyper vigilant, always seeing what's changing, what's not. They'll always be following their gut, their instinct, their senses. So yes, I don't understand logic too much. But Gandharvi, that said, I mean, I have to also say this. I do have a trusted set of friends who I play the logic with, and not
Hmm.
for any other thing, because I'm so convinced about an idea when I am. Sometimes I don't know the difference between impulsivity or I won't say reality, but authenticity. That, yes, that ADHD again in the past 5 months has taught me, are you being impulsive or is it really authentic? So the first thing
Hmm.
I do is I'll sit with it for 2-3 days. And उसके बाद भी फुदक रही हूँ अगर कि नहीं नहीं करना है करना है करना है, then I will talk to those 2-3 people. Kia, can you see holes in this or whatever? Of course they will, because logical minds will see holes. Logic is supposed to see holes. That's what the job of logic is.
Hmm.
And impulsivity or instincts are supposed to take the plunge. That's what their job is, right?
Hmm.
So with the holes in whatever they tell me, then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Then I talk to myself again. Can you manage those holes or you can't? If I can, then I go ahead. But yes, those big decisions are still being taken from my heart and my instinct, even now, and even more now, with a little bit of, I would say, ADHD priming. That's the best way I
Hmm.
can put it. Yeah, because now I know better. So I'll do better in my Angelo's words. Yeah, now that I know better, I'll do better. Yeah.
Amazing. So, what is the story about yourself that took you the longest to say out loud, and what made you finally say it?
Okay, so there are two stories. One is a little sad one. The other one is a super one. The sad one is, the story is that lack of love and support growing up, parental, severe lack. Okay. In there, they'll obviously say another story, sure. But my story is my story, and I need to stay committed to my story. Otherwise, I'm abandoning and betraying myself, right? And at the end of the day, it's only me. This is not that self-centered, narcissistic. No,
Hmm.
it is यही है. तो आप इसकी रक्षा नहीं कर रहे हो तो आप किसी की रक्षा नहीं कर रहे हो फिर, है ना? So stop making other stories. You did not feel it all your life. Then you try to lie to yourself by saying, no, nobody talks like that. And you betrayed, and then, well, see what happened. Then when you found yourself again, are you still going to lie? No, I'm not. So by lying, I'm not saying anything, but yes, I did not feel loved and supported the way I wanted to. I think that's a better way of putting it. So that is a sad story. I don't know how it feels to be protected in a family or to be loved for just who you are. I don't know that. I don't know
Hmm.
that. Thank God I don't, because I bring it to the table when it comes to my son. So that way I will call myself a generational cycle breaker, and after breaking myself. That wasn't easy. And I will own it with everything that comes. I mean, nobody can take that away. So that is a sad, or it's not sad actually, it's pretty cool. So today it is. So that story I talk about now openly in terms of my parents. But the other story I talk today about is the whole doing so many things. That
Hmm.
I used to be ashamed of it all up till even 3 to 4 years ago. I would try to talk about it, but still feel ashamed, then go back and feel no, no, watch videos कि एक चीज को पकड़ के तुम पागल हो जाओ उसके बारे में, and it would still not make sense. I would be like,
Hmm.
हाँ, हाँ, फिर भी अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, and then keep telling yourself that you are only messed up. छोड़ दो, तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Now it's like वो आपको वीडियोस देखने ही नहीं है, आपको और वीडियोस देखने हैं. और अगर आपको मिल नहीं रहे तो आप अपने वीडियोस बनाओगे, बिकॉज आपके जैसे बहुत लोग हैं इस दुनिया में, एंड हैं. They're writing mails to me, they're sending DMs, and they're like, thank you, that's the story, which is, Yes, I do a lot of things. I enjoy doing a lot of things. My aim is not कि एक चीज में बिल्कुल मास्टरी पाके फिर वहां मेरा वो एम नहीं है. मेरा एम ये आज मेरा क्या मन कर रहा है. आज मेरा क्या मन कर रहा है. So that is the story today. That is the fun story that I've started to speak about. Yes.
I think, when I hear you, I've trained with you, right? So when you used to do Zumba and I used to come for training, and even then I used to be like in awe of the fact that you used to do so many things, because you used to talk about it, and I used to be like, damn, I have my one job and that's about it. And today when you're talking about it again, I'm going back to that moment where now I'm in a similar space where I want to do a lot of things, but then there's those voices that do one thing really well, and I'm always trying to break that. Which is why I'm like, I want to do three things at the same time and not just do one thing, because the old school version of work is do one thing and do it right and do it well. But I think the new generation, the new world that we operate in, one thing isn't going to cut it. And it's like, you have to do what makes you happy. I think that's where I
Yeah.
have come down to. It's, for me, it's been 6 months in the journey as well. And I'm like, I have my moments of, I hate it, I love it, I don't know what to do with it. But it's still, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh God, I have so many things on my plate that I can do today. And there are so many possibilities. So, even then, I was in awe. And even today, I'm in awe while you're talking about it, because it's like speaking something that I wouldn't say out loud every single day. But I'm so thankful for you for saying that, because it will not motivate just me every day, but I think all the people who listen to it as well. So thank you so much for that, for saying that just outright loud without any hesitation, and I love that completely.
Thank you
So
so much.
if the Kanika of today could sit with the younger version of herself at her most lost, most uncertain, what would she say to her?
Oof. So I have a picture of that person. It's good you said that because when I did my inner child therapy, which was now, I think it's been 3 years, that time I met her. And since then I've been parenting her, and I have a little tiny doll. While I'm speaking to you, it's right there. That represents me, and there is a tiny picture of that little Kanika in my bathroom. So I see her every day, and well, you're saying what would I say? I speak to her every day, and every day changes. It's getting better and better. This is going to really make me tear up, but I think I would just tell her, don't lose, don't lose the love that you have, and don't lose the kindness and the hope. Don't, and the faith. बस बाकी तो बैंड तो बजना ही है. जब तुम 45 years के होगे, तुम्हारी तब भी बैंड बजेगी, आज भी बज रही है. लेकिन these 3-4 things, no, love kind of is the biggest. उसके फिर subsets होते हैं, kindness, compassion and everything. True love, huh? Not like be love. Everything else falls in place. Just be love, spread love. अपने आप laughter आएगा, हंसी आएगी, you'll cry. So love also brings a lot of authenticity. Love brings commitment. Love brings everything actually. So don't divide. Just be love. That time also she was love, and this I don't know who's helped me, or I can't say मैंने किया है बिल्कुल भी. But how did the tiny child know? That how did she know that I will not become bitter, I will not resent the world, I will not hate on the world, I will stop being kind, I'll stop loving. She never stopped. तो वो पता नहीं, वो magic. See, I told you, magic, that's magic. That is magic. Shit, I just realized myself. And thank you, I'm going to write this down. But that's magic. She never left. So really, there's not much to say to her. I think she did all the work. And I'm going to just uplift and continue to uphold it. I just realized she never left the love. And that built who this person is. Shit, man. Sorry, but I'm like suddenly having like a bit of moment right now. Really, thank you. Oof.
And
Goosebumps.
I love it because these are the moments that matter the most, right? It is the goosebump moments, it's the aha moments, and it's being unfiltered. So I love this, and I'm so happy that you were able to find that aha again today.
Crazy, crazy.
And I have one last question for you, Kanika, before we close. And I think this is probably what you've answered a lot already, but you live and create unfiltered through art, writing, honesty about ADHD in life. For the woman out there who is still filtering herself, still maybe shrinking to fit, what would you want her to know?
That's a tough one, yeah. Ek to my heart goes out. I would want her to know just this one thing, not in action, maybe just in thought. Actions are tough. Sweetheart, with a lot of love, I'm telling you, there's just one life. One life. Okay. And with short, long, jo bhi hai, doesn't matter. But so whether you're taking an action or not, just just don't lie to you. Express yourself. Now, express doesn't mean that you're in a bad marriage, you'll walk out. It isn't easy for everyone, yeah. It's not. Was it easy for me? Hello, I broke both the times. I did. There was no support. Nothing. There still isn't. Right. So it's not easy. So let's say that they're in a bad marriage. No, walk out. No, it's not easy. Similarly, somebody is misbehaving or whatever. Then take action. Go to court, or even small things like काम अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है पर छोड़ नहीं पा रहे. You know, I can't be sitting here and saying, oh, just drop it, yeah, just do it. No, it's not that easy. I don't know where she's coming from. All I'm saying is just know that life is very short. Uh, just don't shrink yourself, okay? And if you really have to, know that you're shrinking. How will you know? Play. How will you know? Express yourself. How? Go home, write, dance, express, talk to somebody, move, travel, take it out, get it out, and then go back and play. कि हाँ जी सर क्या चाहिए हाँ जी सर मैं बिच जाऊँ आपके लिए of course there are things I do daily यार which I'm like ugh. But I'm like okay let's just do this but just don't give dhoka. There's a tiny difference. Then do what you have to. It's all good. Yeah? Everybody's stories are not going to be the same. Yeah. Then make the choices with awareness and have fun. Yeah. Whatever is pissing you off, look at them and laugh in your head and continue doing what you're doing. Then it's fun.
I absolutely love the two statements you made. One was have fun and awareness. I think those are the two things that are so key in general. Having fun is important, and I think a lot of women have stopped having it just because of
Ah,
the rut of the hamster wheel. I call it a hamster wheel, like you're always just running on it without stop
exactly.
nonsense. And I think those are the two most important things. So I think this is amazing. So thank you so much, Kanika. I think not just for being here, but for the way you've kind of showed up, honesty, openness, and exactly being who you are. I think what you've shared today isn't just a story, it's the story of many women who have always or may have been told why she's why the world is too much, or how she can choose or how she cannot choose. And you've spent 23 years painting your own rules. So with that, it's a huge thanks, and I hope for everyone who's listening, men, women, anyone out there, take a little piece of this permission with you. To everyone who joined us for the episode of Gavira Unfiltered, thank you for being here. If this conversation moved something in you, share it with a woman who needs to hear it, because that's how stories and voices travel. And if you want to connect with Kanika, I will share the details below in the comments on her Instagram, Facebook, and we leave the links for you below and you can connect with her. We'll be back soon with another conversation, another woman, another unfiltered story. Until then, keep moving, keep choosing, and keep showing up as you are and as the truest version of yourself. This is Gavira Unfiltered, real women, real stories. Thank you so much, Kanika, once again.
Thank you so much for having me here.